Episode 23, Nerdy News and Stuff.
Welcome to the Visionary Variety Podcast, where we cover all kinds of cool stuff like photo, video, film, books, and technology. So switch on your brain and enjoy the show. Welcome back to the Visionary Variety Podcast. We are honored to have you listening once again. Today we've got myself, Daniel Grove, the guy who's still not sure if he woke up or not. We've also got with us Nate Gunn, the guy who's still trying to figure out the speed of dark.
Hey guys, what's up?
And Angela Brock, the girl who's trying to figure out an alternate word for synonym.
Hey there, people.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the last episode, especially you photographers out there. I finally got to pour my heart out about lenses, all my rants and raves and stuff that I just had to get off my chest. It's a really good episode if you are wanting to learn more about photography, specifically lenses. So go check that out if you're into that. In today's episode, we are going to be talking about news, specifically regarding movies and video games and all kinds of fun, nerdy stuff. All right, let's get started with this episode. So, recently in the news, there has been released a lawsuit between Bethesda, who has made Fallout and Elder Scrolls. They are suing Warner Brothers, as well as a company that makes a game for both of those companies, called Behavior Entertainment. Basically, Bethesda is suing Behavior Entertainment because they made a game for Warner Brothers. It was really similar to their own game. So we've got two companies, Bethesda and Warner Brothers. They both have a mobile game. Bethesda's is Fallout Shelter, which came out in June of 2015. And then recently, Warner Brothers made a game for their Westworld TV show. Have you guys seen Westworld?
I have not, no.
Not a lot of it.
Yeah, it's really well made. I mean, there's a lot of nudity and there's some sexual stuff in there, but very high quality. It's fun to watch. The visuals are great, of course, and most importantly, the story is really, really deep. Lots of cool stuff going on there. So I like the show. But anyway, back to this thing. So both these companies have mobile games, and they are strikingly similar. I mean, it's almost exact, and so exact that Bethesda's saying, "Hey, I'm suing you." So they're suing both. They're suing the company that made their own game. They're also suing Warner Brothers, like I said. So at first sight, I kind of thought this was like one of the things where there's a popular or successful trend. You know, like a certain type of game comes out and a bunch of other companies, kind of copy them, rip them off. That's just how the market goes. Something that makes money, people will follow suit and try to make money off of that as well. Mm-hmm. But there seems to be a little bit more to it in this case. One of the things that I discovered was the Fallout Shelter game, when it first came out, it had a bug in the game that basically would render the background blurry when you started up a certain level, I think it was. Mm-hmm. And, that was a bug, and they fixed it. Well, get this, the Westworld game has the same exact bug.
Oh.
And if that doesn't scream source code to you, then, that's an issue. But on top of that, I mean, the style is the same. It's like a two-dimensional game, basically. The background is all 3D, but you have two-dimensional characters. They both take place underground in a multi-leveled underground, building, which does fit with both of these universes. I mean, Fallout is a shelter. The game is called Fallout Shelter.
Right.
And in Westworld, the building, it goes underground where all the modern humans live, and they have their, scientists and stuff like that. And there's a bunch of, robot bodies and stuff. So they kind of match, which is coincidental. But there's just a lot of similarities, and Bethesda's basically suing them for money, saying, hey, you guys ripped us off. They're claiming that Behavior Interactive used the same exact source code for parts of the game. They're saying that they used basically setups and game design elements in the other company's games. So that's not cool.
No, that's shady practices in my opinion. I'm sure they use a ton of assets, so that's not cool on their part.
Yeah, and I mean, Behavior Interactive made both their games, so that's just kind of like, come on.
Right. It's just not just another developer like ripping off the trend, like you said. It's the same developer basically pawning off their stuff to another company for publishing.
Totally. Well, Angel, what do you got for us?
Well, I found out recently that there has been a Joker origin movie in the works for quite a while. It's kind of in development. They haven't really gotten on the ball with casting and stuff a whole lot yet until recently, I believe. They're considering Joaquin Phoenix to actually play a new Joker. He's a candidate, so I don't know if he's actually going to get it yet, but they're saying he's going to be
interesting.
He's like a pretty good candidate.
He is
so
a very
far.
versatile actor. I bet he could do that good.
Maybe. I don't know. I have a hard time picturing it in my head, but then again, I mean, when I've seen Heath Ledger in other movies, I would have a hard time believing him to be a good Joker.
Where would he
So,
place? Where would he place in the timeline right now with all
okay,
the DC
this
movies?
this is weird here because it's not going to be part of the DCEU.
Oh,
It's going to be
No,
something completely separate. It's supposed to
dumb.
be some kind of new label where they might feature darker and grittier, more adult stories. Because apparently,
interesting.
this movie is going to be rated R.
Oh,
From what I've
wow.
seen, I don't know if that's going to be a complete fact in the
Yeah.
future, but so far they're acting like it's going to be. So that's interesting. And they're going to have like an even a separate Joker movie with Jared Leto
Yeah.
playing his version of the Joker, and he's going to be in a movie with Harley Quinn as well after that at some point.
What a mess.
So this
Yeah.
just all
Come on,
seems kind of
DC.
Yeah.
strange to
It,
me.
what a bad time to be falling apart right now, in my opinion.
Yeah. When
Yeah,
Marvel's like kicking it and they're just like, well, we're trying
yeah.
new things. Don't
hmm
do that.
You know what's crazy is DiCaprio was actually going to be cast as the upcoming Joker
hmm
after Leto, and people were
That's
like, "Oh,
weird.
that will be
Yeah,
weird."
yeah. I saw that he was like in the running. It was supposed to be for this movie, but I think they've moved
Man.
away from him for whatever reason.
Do
And so
you
far,
honestly do you think you could see him being the Joker after all the movies you've seen him
That's
in, like
weird.
Inception, Titanic, and
no.
anything? I don't know what else he's been in, like, but like that would be loony like that. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is kind of a good frantic, spastic kind of actor, but I don't know how that would turn out to be a
hmm
scary version of that. Well, is there any word on which story, if there is a comic story, that this movie will be following, or you think it might be an original?
I feel like I read that they were gonna follow maybe the Killing Joke and potentially something else as well.
The Joker is a weird anomaly among all villains because he
hmm
doesn't really have an official backstory.
Yeah, and that's one reason why
I
I'm
like
kind of
it.
skeptical about this concept
Yeah.
of a movie because I feel like it's just he's so much more of an interesting character when you don't know for sure why he is the way he
It's like
is.
the Metachlorians of the DCU.
Yeah.
The Heath Ledger version, you find out that he has a wife, and I was like, "Wow, that's new."
Well,
He
he could have
says,
been making that up too because
"I
they
know, I
changed the
mean,
story several
but
times.
I guess the only thing that we know about him is that, and he went to the insane asylum in the Christian Bale version when he went to see Scarecrow. That was
Hmm.
that insane asylum, Arkham. I don't remember the Arkham Asylum,
Yeah.
and I think that
hmm
was the place the Joker had attended.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Well, I know in one of the comic lines, I don't know if it's like the New 52 or something in the past few years ago that came out, that they actually said that in this comic, Batman somehow travels into the past
Oh.
and he like it's like he kind of loses his mind and loses his memory and he's sort of like washed up on this river and he gets up and he's just kind of crazy and he becomes the Joker. So the Joker is actually Bruce Wayne. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
That's a little
Yeah.
I
too
read
much.
that. I was like, "Well, that hurts my head."
I don't know, but that movie's supposed to be coming out, I think, next year. But I mean, who knows? It could be delayed even further. So he's been in actually a movie called Walk the Line. That was supposed
Oh,
to be a Johnny
walk the
Cash
line.
movie.
Okay.
Yeah, John, that was a good movie. That was a
But I've
really good
never seen
movie.
it. I don't think I've ever seen any movie with Joaquin Phoenix in it, except for maybe wasn't he in The Village, that one M Night Shyamalan
Yes.
movie? That's
He's
probably
an
it.
interesting guy. He had a little stint for a while where he was a rap star. Like he toured, he
That
did
sounds
concerts.
familiar.
It was weird. It was like, is he serious? Is he trying to get away from TV or Hollywood? It was so confusing but funny at the same time.
Yeah, it's really weird. So I mean, who knows?
All right. Well, Nate, you have something for us?
So there's a group in China. They have made a real life laser gun, and actually they can
Yes.
shoot a kilometer away for the testing
Oh.
phase. And the United States actually is preparing for war in space.
Oh gosh.
And
Oh.
they're actually what it looks like. A lot of people are really excited about this. Of course, there's always a couple episodes ago we talked about like we're finally getting to the point where futuristic is happening, and then there's pushback because of the fear
Mhm.
of the unknown. But their idea is to put this like on vehicles and tanks to shoot down drones right now. So it's going to be coming more in like the testing phase and I guess reality. But their mindset is the war in space and start preparing for all that stuff. And I was like, interesting. I guess Elon Musk is starting to get people to think about SpaceX, which is according to what I've read, I don't really know. They're wanting to have like kind of like racing, like NASCAR in space, and so
Cool.
people are now
Space
adding
race.
guns. So now all of a sudden, but
And we got the Space Force, we got lasers, we have racing in space. Man, we're finally in the future, guys. We're here.
and so
Woo.
they're calling it the ZKZM 500 laser assault
Oh,
rifle.
gosh.
Wow.
So
It's a lot of Z's.
yeah,
Sounds scary.
I say we call it the Pew Pew 9000.
Pew pew.
the PP 500.
Pretty good name. Sounds
I like
legit.
it.
So yes, it's in the testing phase. They really don't have an accuracy like on how far it can shoot, but they're saying it can burn through like paper. Some people are pushing back and saying, how can we have lasers like a laser gun when the cartridge of battery and it would take like 1,000 shots to get through like steel and
Yeah,
so
how
we're
big is this thing? Is this handheld or is this like a
yeah,
mounted
that's
thing?
what they're saying is like yes, handheld. I mean, it's in the testing phase. They don't really know how far it's going to shoot. They have like an idea on like they're saying like a kilometer, and they're saying certain meters, but they're saying it can get through like a sheet of paper. But some people are actually firing back and saying, well, you'd have to have all this stuff and it'd be heavy and all that. And so people are just, there's always pros or cons to something like this.
If the Japanese are making it, it's going to be awesome.
And a giant mech is going to get attached to it.
Yes, it's destined to be on a mech because they are so extra with all their technology they make. And not only is it awesome functionally, but their stuff looks really pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like their walking robots are like gorgeous. Our walking robots look like a hunk of metal with tubes all over it. They're just extra. They go the extra mile,
They
know how
really
to do
do.
things. All right, has everyone here seen Star Wars Solo?
Yes.
Yes.
Good.
Great movie. I loved it.
Unfortunately, it's not going to be getting a sequel
No.
anytime soon.
I can't say I'm
Nor
surprised.
is the Boba Fett or Obi-Wan spin-off movies going to be
wow,
made
really?
anytime soon either.
Come on.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Why should
Tier,
they
tier.
suffer?
Solo,
All right.
why'd you
What did
ruin
they
it
ever
all?
do to us?
Come on. We gave Han Solo a chance and it wasn't even Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
Dude, Solo was awesome.
Yeah,
I
it
give
was
it
surprisingly
almost
good.
5 stars. It was like amazing. And I'm hearing like it's a box office failure and
Yeah.
people didn't like it. I'm like, what is wrong with those people? Did they see the movie?
I
'Cause it was so
know.
good.
I hope DVD sales are going to be a different story
Yeah.
from all the people who've heard how much of a success it was.
Oh.
Yeah, it's incredible. Even if you don't get all the little Easter eggs and all the universe stuff,
Yeah.
it's still a great standalone movie. I hope so.
Yeah.
Well, apparently, Solo didn't do very good in the box office. It barely made the budget from what they spent on it, which is still mind blowing to me. I don't understand how that's possible. But yeah, so there's going to be no Solo spinoffs, no Boba Fett or Obi-Wan movies anytime in the next few more years.
Yeah.
So currently the only thing Star Wars junkies have to look forward to is Episode 9. Obviously, that's coming out for sure. But past that, we've got a live-action TV show.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, it's going to be a few years off, though, possibly 2020. Not 100% sure yet, but
Interesting.
yeah, that's exciting. I'm cringing because it's probably only going to be available on the Disney streaming service by then.
Oh, shoot.
Not
That's
Netflix,
true. That's
not
true.
Amazon.
Man,
because
that's ruined.
Oh,
Yeah.
boo.
Well, honestly, ABC is owned by Disney, so if it's on there, it could potentially be good.
Yeah.
I think they're really trying to isolate Disney, like new money-making Disney stuff, to only on the Disney streaming service.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, like, so a friend of the family has Vudu, which is the company through Walmart. That's you download your digital copy and you can watch or you can share libraries with other hosts.
Yeah.
And so he has a ton of Disney movies, and he'll always ask like, "Hey, can you see this movie from Disney?" You're like, "Nope, sorry." They're like, "Okay." He's like, "Well, I just purchased or downloaded like 20 Disney movies. You can't see any like the old Lion King or anything like that." And we're like, "No." So Disney's really hounding and making sure people only go so far into like sharing, because like Netflix might lose their stuff actually because they're adding the Star Wars and if like for instance if I gave y'all my password and username, now y'all have access
Yes,
to
please.
Disney stuff.
Well, I think they're removing the Marvel movies from Netflix.
Come on, they just got
Because- Yeah,
Better not.
I may be wrong, but I thought I heard that in another podcast and that they're becoming less available.
I mean, Netflix removes a lot of stuff, so who
Yeah,
knows
they
if it's
change things
from like Disney being all power hungry and wanting to hoard everything for themselves, or if it's just Netflix going like, okay, it's been here long enough, time to check it.
Maybe.
I don't know. We'll have to see. Time will tell.
Yeah, so we've got the live action TV show coming up. That's pretty sure. I mean, it's being worked on, so I'm going to say it's happening. But after that, there is still a lingering possibility that Ryan Johnson's going to get his promised trilogy, which is, as
But
he
trilogy
said,
for what
unrelated.
though? Like outside of the original trilogy and the new trilogy and all the spin-offs?
Yeah, he said that his trilogy that he wants to make is not going to have to do anything with any characters we've seen or any places we've seen. So
Okay.
that's really open-ended, but at the same time, it is pretty specific because we know it's not not another dang Skywalker movie, and it's not going to take place on Jakku or Coruscant or anything like that.
So
All
I
right.
wonder how much involvement he'll bring in, like Darth Maul, or
Well, none.
big question: will it be
Well, that's a
canon or
character
will it
we've
be?
seen.
Yeah, but well, we don't know where he's going now because Han Solo is apparently not getting a sequel.
Well, if he's making a trilogy about all new characters and new places, I think he's going to totally leave what we've seen and what has already been developed.
Mhm.
So not to say this isn't canon, like it's still going to be canon, but it could take place at the same time as, the Battle of Yavin, but it could be
Yeah.
in the opposite side of the galaxy, or it could be in the
Old
Old Republic
Republic.
days, 2,000 years
Yeah.
in the past, or it could be 500 years in the future after the Empire. We don't know. So
Sounds interesting. I'll be honest with you, he did a good job, so I hope they give it to him.
yeah. Yeah, I hope they still fund it and give them the green light because I want to see something brand new.
Well, that's why I was
I want-
excited about these spin-offs with like Solo, Boba
Yeah.
Fett, and everything. And now, freaking Han Solo just ruins it because now we have Darth Maul back in the loop, and I'm like,
Mhm.
are they going to give him his
Exciting.
own movie? And now, but no
Nope.
sequel anymore.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Disney.
I think it'd help if we didn't get a Star Wars movie every year because fans are starting to get
Yeah.
a little tired of
Yeah.
it all.
Yeah, maybe they're realizing that they don't need to do one every year like Marvel does. Like maybe if they spread it out, it'll be better quality and be
Yeah.
better received, that's
Yeah, I
good.
mean, the anticipation will be built up a ton.
Yeah, that too.
I got another movie in the works to share with you guys, and this one's a little more special than the last one. A Sonic the Hedgehog movie is in development.
That's awesome.
Yes.
And yeah, I don't know how to feel about that. Because, okay, for one thing, it is going to be a kids movie. So I'm
Yeah,
not gonna go.
no doubt.
I'm not gonna go see it if it's primarily directed towards kids. But I can guarantee there are gonna be probably a lot of 20 and 30-something-year-olds who will go see it regardless, and then trash on how kiddie of a movie it
Oh
was.
yeah, this is weird because the fans and the people who played
Yeah.
Sonic the Hedgehog are now, like you said, mid-20s to mid-30s.
Yeah.
But the kids that this movie would likely be made for have probably never played Sonic. Are there any new Sonic games still being made?
Oh yeah, they're making a lot of Sonic games still,
Okay,
but the
I
quality
didn't
of
know
them
that.
have not been that good over the years. It's
Yeah,
very
I
very
was
hit
gonna
or
say,
miss. It's very
I
different.
haven't heard about them. So
Yeah, they're not like
this
how they
is-
used to be since they're now in like a 3D space. So sometimes they're
Yeah.
you don't go as fast as like you did in the old Genesis game. So it's lost that
that's
feel.
gonna be
to it.
weird.
Yeah. Well, about the movie itself, the only information they have released so far about it is that it will be a live action / CGI kind of hybrid sort of a movie. So I'm assuming that means it's going to have real life actors. And yeah, all the Sonic characters will be
Oh,
CGI'd
no.
in. Like it's like Looney Tunes and Strikes
That
Back.
sounds
those
bad
movies.
already.
Yeah.
Like the Smurfs movie.
Oh my god, I didn't see that one, so I can't
Good.
comment on that. But so far they have James Marsden to play the lead role. And get this, they're gonna have Jim Carrey play Dr. Robotnik.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's gonna be his first movie in about 3 years. I think the last movie he's been in has been since 2016. So
That's a low point right there.
yeah, I feel bad for him at this point. Oh yeah, I can't really picture him as Robotnik either. Cause like Daniel, do you know what he looks like? He's like this big, portly,
Yeah.
rotund kind of character.
Yeah, with
So-
lightning shaped mustache, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's odd.
So, well, we'll have to wait until November 15th, 2019. Apparently, they have a very specific release date already. So
Well, after the Grinch, there's no such thing as too much prosthetics on Jim Carrey.
it's very true.
So keeping it in the movie and the theater, after 33 years, we're finally gonna get Top Gun 2.
Yeah.
Gee, I
Um,
wonder who's in that movie.
I wonder. But Miles Taylor, the guy from Divergent, I think is what he's called, he's going to be playing Goose's son. And so that's going to be interesting. So a lot of people didn't like this movie. They thought it was a dud, but one of my favorite movies to watch besides Independence Day.
They're going to have a
Yeah.
bunch of CGI planes.
Woo.
Okay, continuing with this movie theme we've got going on. Geez, a lot of movie news going on.
Yeah.
This one has to do with Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. So there are a bunch of Dragon Ball Z movies. In case you are not aware, there's at least 13 classic ones, and I think there's 2 newer ones.
Something like that.
And some other peripheral movies from like Dragon Ball and stuff like that. So I grew up watching the Dragon Ball Z movies. I would get them illegally online because it was the only place you could get them.
You
In
rebel,
my
you.
defense, thank you very much. And I'm pretty sure I watched all 13 of them because they were awesome. So what's going on is 3 of them so far are being remastered and released into American theaters, which is really exciting. So the first one is going to be the Brawly movie, and that's going to be released to select theaters on September 15th and 17th this year. And then after that, there's a double feature of the Bardock movie and Fusion Reborn. Those are going to be shown on November 3rd and 5th. So that's really cool. Would you, Angela, you're also the Dragon Ball Z fan. Would you go to a theater to watch these?
Maybe at least the ones I haven't seen. I don't think I've seen the Bardock movie, or I can't remember which one's Fusion Reborn. I don't even know.
It's where they do fusion for the first time. I forgot who they're fighting. I think they're fighting all the people that have been raised from the dead or something like that.
Of course they are. I feel like that's the plot of a few of the movies.
Yeah, right?
Oh my gosh. But yeah, I totally see it in the theater because I have friends who are into anime and they like Dragon Ball Z, so that'd be definitely a fun night out.
That would be a fun, just like sentimental trip down memory lane, seeing those again and remastered. And they are the English dub versions, so they've got English voice actors in them.
Yay, Goku won't sound like an old lady.
So that's pretty cool. Also, if you go, you get an exclusive Brawly trading card from the Dragon Ball Super card game. So there's that. Just really, they're trying to really reel you in here.
I feel like with the anime movies, they always do some sort of promotional, like offer
Maybe
you
that's
a
just a
trading
regular-
card. Because I remember back in the day when Pokemon, the first movie came out, they try to get you in there by giving you like a Mewtwo card or something. I can't remember.
Dude, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's funny. And if you're interested in seeing where you can see these movies, you can find them at fathomevents.com/collections/dragon-ball-z. So basically, you type in your zip code, and boom, it'll tell you all the theaters and when they're showing the movies, which is pretty cool. And I actually have 3 theaters around me. There's 2 in San Antonio and 1 in New Braunfels that are showing these. I was surprised. I didn't know they did that. I think one of them is like an Alamo Draft House, which kind of makes sense. Pretty cool stuff. More Dragon Ball Z. Can never get enough of that.
No. Telltale Games has partnered with Netflix to make a Stranger Things video game.
Whoa.
And that's pretty cool considering Stranger Things hasn't had like any sort of actual video game release except for a mobile game, which apparently did pretty good. But I mean, it's a mobile game. It's not going to be quite the same. And I think was a VR teaser for a PS4 game that's in the works. So there's that. But yeah, they're finally getting an actual game worked on right now. But I'm kind of skeptical about it, honestly, because Telltale Games, while they've had a good reputation for certain games in the past, like lately they've been most well known for making the Walking Dead games and The Wolf Among Us, Sam & Max, stuff like that. Their quality in their games has dropped considerably over the last few years. So it's kind of sketchy, but apparently their last CEO was ousted in early 2017. And they got a whole new leadership by the end of the year.
What a mess.
I know. So it seems like these new people, they seem to know what they're doing. Because apparently back when they had the old leadership, they originally shot the pitch down to partner with Netflix because they thought that Stranger Things was just a show about a bunch of kids on bikes. And they didn't even look into it.
Wait, so it's not?
That's
Wah, wah.
it's awful. It's awful. So I'm like a big fan of the Stranger Things TV show, so I'm very much looking forward to seeing how Telltale Games will represent the show because they tend to do different kind of gameplay compared to most TV show movie tie-in games. Like rather than having you play through the exact scenes in the show, go through the same actions and motions, etc. They kind of play out as like an interactive graphic novel where you can choose to talk to people and give them different reactions. And
Oh, they do those
um,
multi-choice games, right?
yes,
Like that negotiating android one.
yeah, something like that, where
Yeah.
the characters tend to remember all the responses you've given them and they'll react accordingly and different stuff will
Oh,
happen.
cool.
I don't know for sure if they will do this game like that because I don't know how that would work. I don't know if they were going to have like different characters and stuff because I feel like if they went with the same characters, they'd have to
Yeah,
go
I'm
in a
curious
different
too.
direction, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, that would be interesting. You know, there are some open threads in that story, whereas there's other children that were MK Ultra kids. They were born with
That's
possibly
true.
other
They
powers.
could go in
So
that.
there's a bunch of other
man.
kids, like 11, and what was the other girl with the
I think she was 8 or something.
Yeah.
I can't remember what her real
So
name
who
was.
knows? There could be 20 other kids. We don't know.
And I didn't even think of that initially when I was reading up on this. So that idea for a game has got me.
That'd be cool
really
if you were like
interested.
one of the kids, like as they escape. And I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you think this game like has to be retro style?
It doesn't have to be. I don't think they would because I don't think any of the previous games were like that at all.
Yeah.
It would be different if they did. Most of their games tend to look almost the exact same, and they've been getting flack for it over recent years. But apparently, they're going to discontinue using their old current game engine and this shifting over to a more current one called Unity. So that sounds like a good sign. So
Interesting.
I don't know what they're going to do with that, but
Yeah, well, I love Stranger Things, so that'll be curious how they're going to turn that into a game.
yeah. And I'm also interested to see if they will represent other Netflix properties since they have this partnership going on. So
Yeah.
like I think they've mentioned something about potentially doing like a Black Mirror sort of game, even though that's not
What?
confirmed. And I've never watched that show, but I've heard some crazy things about it. So that would be one.
I've seen the first season, and it is a trip.
Yeah, so I've heard. So since the possibility is there, I mean that's pretty cool. So
my next thing is Instagram TV. So if we all don't know what that is, it basically is a step up from our stories on Instagram. Now, vertical video is becoming a thing, even though our eyes see horizontal. Everything in our hand is vertical, like phones, tablets. Besides our laptops and desktops, it's becoming more and more of a thing. And so they have, they introduced the stories about 15 seconds per story, and then the next step they could add to your highlight on your profile. So let's say you have an Insta story or a picture, you really like that moment and you don't want to lose it. And you don't want to lose any of the following people that saw it. So you make it a highlight and it logs into your profile and you can see it whenever you want. But they take it a step further. Instagram TV. And from 15 seconds now, I'm seeing like 5-minute videos, 10-minute videos. And they already do live because they're owned by Facebook. Now they're stepping into like YouTube and being able to have couple minute videos. Now, I don't know what the length of time is. The stories originally were 15 seconds. Now, like I said, I've seen it vary. But what's interesting is now Instagram is up the quality and you can actually like and comment as you're watching. And the person that's, given the product or the video or the picture or something, you can see the comment just like on YouTube. You can scroll down instead of getting a direct message. So it's interesting. They're taking a step further. I don't know how long it's going to last. I don't know what direction Instagram's wanting to go in because the YouTube platform is already big. So it's like, well, and then you have Vimeo and all these other people. So I really don't know where we're going, but it's definitely catching a lot of people's attention because they're actually the people that do stories for a living actually are really excited. And there's some creators out there that are like, well, I really don't see the use besides higher quality and vertical video.
Yeah, and you can do horizontal video, but you kind of have to fake it and add stuff top and bottom.
yeah.
According to TechCrunch.com, the length of it can be 1 hour, which is really surprising.
What?
Oh wow, what? Really?
Yeah. If you upload a normal video to your Instagram post, it can only be a minute long.
Yeah.
But so IGTV looks like an hour. I'm tempted to do some creative stuff on there somehow. I'm not sure what exactly.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it sounds interesting, but the thing that turns me off from it is the fact that it ideally needs to be vertical video. Because whenever I make any sort of, nice video, I'm kind of thinking of the, posting it on YouTube, which supports horizontal. So I'm like, I'm not going to go through the effort of just making something in vertical for Instagram only. That just seems
Yeah,
like a
it's
waste
really
to me.
exclusive. You can't share it really much elsewhere. Well, you could do it to Facebook, but
Yeah, I
uh,
guess. But even then, it's
you
just
know,
like I hate shooting stuff in vertical too. I'm so much
yeah,
more accustomed to how good stuff looks when it's shot horizontally.
it's really only suited to people doing talking head videos, which is like
Yeah.
just a close up of them talking or doing makeup or something,
Yeah.
or someone showing off their body and modeling clothes, like
Yeah.
standing up.
And those are the kind of videos I like to make. So I guess I feel like Instagram TV might not be for me unless I just decide to be cheap and just upload horizontal video to it anyway and have awful black bars on the top
Yeah.
and the bottom of the screen.
You could add helpful information in those spaces too, though. So
Yeah, maybe.
be creative.
Put links to different social media.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
cool.
Like I said, hopefully it's something that lasts a long time. But Instagram is owned by Facebook, so Facebook pulls the plug. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Till Disney buys everything.
Oh my gosh.
Everything. All right, well, let's end the episode with something kind of lighthearted, but also confusing.
Oh,
It originates from a Twitter account called Remake The Last Jedi.
what?
Yeah, there's apparently people out there that think they're going to remake The Last Jedi
Are you
movie.
kidding me?
I thought this was like a trolly, jokey, just tongue-in-cheek thing, which I'm kind of coming full circle and thinking it still is.
Yeah.
But they are really committed to this joke.
Oh my gosh.
So there is a Twitter account, like I said, it's at RM The Last Jedi or Remake The Last Jedi. And this is a quote from one of their posts. This is on June 20th. They said, "Our team of producers is offering to cover the budget for a remake of The Last Jedi in order to save Star Wars. Share this and spread the word." Blah, 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 blah. In another post, they said they had over $13 million in pledges, even though they're not using a pledging website like Kickstarter or anything legitimate.
Okay, no.
Somebody's walking
They
away
do
with
not.
a chunk of money.
It's just like Shady McShadester, and
Yeah.
things are not adding up, and it just doesn't make sense. Like,
Ugh.
do they think Disney would give them the rights to do this? I don't care how
I don't
much
know
money
what
they
they're
raise.
thinking.
They can't just make a copywritten material and a
No.
sequel or a remake.
No.
That's not how things work. And Disney's not about to let them trash their name by quote unquote fixing it. By
I'm
making
surprised
another
this hasn't gotten taken down, even if it's, complete
Yeah.
baloney. I'm surprised they haven't been like, hey, you can't do this. This is not good for us at all.
If they keep getting a lot of attention, who knows? Maybe Disney will take legal action. But honestly, I think they'll just let it fizzle out because this is ridiculous.
Yeah, that is really stupid. If anything comes out by then, I'm pretty sure it's just going to be them running around in the forest behind one of their houses or something.
Yeah, they haven't released any details. It says our team of producers. They haven't released any names. They have no casting for any actors. Yet they've got $13 million to this project. No.
Yeah,
That's like one
complete
casting
bogus.
Hunk of
paycheck.
stinky baloney.
Yeah.
Really stinky.
Right.
So
It
it's funny
reeks.
though that people are believing this is going to happen because it's
Yeah,
just
I feel bad for all the nerds sometimes, especially
that are
Star
like all
Wars.
hardcore. Like, yeah, it's going to happen.
Star Wars fans sometimes just completely blow my mind with how completely and crazily dedicated they are to their own ideas of what Star
Yeah.
Wars should be.
Death threats and all. Apparently,
I
Ryan
know.
Johnson have received death threats about The Last Jedi. And
I'm
it's
not
like,
surprised, sadly.
people, this is fake.
Leave him alone. He
Yeah.
did a good job. I want him to have a sequel.
Yeah, like Jake Lloyd, life was ruined for playing young Anakin, and then I think Hayden
no.
Christensen is
Yeah,
no
and then
longer
the-
wanting to act, and then Daisy Ridley's off of social media.
Yeah, but I was just reading today about Jar Jar Binks, the actor, wanted to commit suicide, and he
Oh my
just
Oh my
gosh.
because of that
That
role,
is-
because it ruined his life.
That's awful.
That is sad. If no one complained about the movie, he would have been fine, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Unless he really hated the character in the movies. But these fans, man, they're ruining people's lives. They're really
Really?
affecting people's lives.
They really are.
What was the actress who played Rose?
Yeah, her too. She was.
She had a-
I can't remember her name, but she was recently pretty much driven off of Instagram because of all the haters.
Well, she deleted her Instagram on her own because of
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
And so that's sad that people
It
are just being
really
so rude and dumb.
Internet bully is not nice.
about a fandom. Like, are Star Trek fans this rude and ridiculous? I don't think they are.
I don't know, but
Not that
I guess we'll find out when the next movie comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see if J.J. Abrams gets any death threats. Is he doing the next one?
I think so. But I could be wrong because then now people are saying that he'll be doing episode 9 for Star Wars. So I don't know.
Yeah. Wow. What a monopoly.
Right.
Lucky him.
I could not imagine being him. He's on the Star Wars track. He's like, phasers up. I'm in blasters.
My.
Warp drive, speed, core, hyperspace.
Oh my goodness.
R2, I mean, data.
All right. Well, I think that about wraps up our episode. Thank you guys for checking those things out for us and letting us know what's going on in the nerdiverse out there. That's the new term I'm going to coin right there.
Nerdiverse.
I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. As you can probably tell, we talk about a lot of variety. Like I said earlier, the last episode was about cameras and lenses. Episode before that was about E3 and video games. So we like to cover all kinds of cool stuff, and we hope you like it too. Speaking of which, we would love to hear back from you guys about our episode, about our shows. If you have any ideas for a discussion or an episode, we would love to hear from you guys. You can contact us at tvvpodcast@gmail.com, or you can reach us at any of our social medias such as Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. And let us know what you guys think. We want to hear back from our fans and the people that listen to us every week. We hope you have a good one, and we'll see you next week. My wife is giving people a tour of our house.
At midnight?
At 11:30 at night.
It's her sister.
No. Julia, you ruined everything.
Get out of my room.
I'm talking to my friends. Get out.
Oh, gosh. Can I have peace and quiet in my own room?
Oh my lord.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Are you good?
Back to laser guns.